Ooh boy. This is one of those times where I would like to like mess with the contrast a little bit. Make the background a little darker, like 10% darker. And then all the sprites would pop. But instead they're gray on gray on gray on gray, so they had to give them a little black outline, but it's not quite doing it. Alright, let's see. Who we're gonna try to talk to today? That's the guy that's suspicious that this guy judges that guy. I don't think I talked to Sarah yet. Are you serious? As you approach, the elderly woman turns and stares at you. Look who's come a-callin' on Seer today. Death's dearest son. She looks you up and down, then shakes her head in disbelief. Loser. Shameful. Embarrassing. Cringe. By every power and its mother. Boy, what crypt did you crawl out of? Fresh from the mortuary, actually. That's so. She raises an eyebrow. Warms my ears to hear you gave that place the laugh, boy. Not much of a watering hole for one who isn't relieving themselves. She sniffs. Shh. Too many cobwebs and dusty minds. You don't like the mortuary? Aren't you a dustman? A dustman? I suppose. Sarah sniffs. Shh. I've seen enough sand pass through the hourglass while wearing these robes. This body's almost ready to pay the ferrymen. She chuckles, but there's not much mirth in it. Are you afraid of dying? Of course I am. Boy, who isn't? She frowns and glances around. Well, except dustmen. They're not afraid because they've been swallowing so much of their own bat droppings over the decades, they've blinded themselves into thinking that death is some kind of release. She keeps making the same sound. It is a release of a sort. If you think this life is a burden, boy, then perhaps. I'm not convinced of that. So, what sparked this crisis of faith? She shrugs. Life, I suppose. She frowns. Ha! Never you mind. I won't bore you with the niggling details. I'd like to know, actually. Oh, would you? She looks at you skeptically. Shh. How old you take me for, boy? Old? She snorts. Well, you're wrong. I'm really old. Now, I've spent most of my long years teaching dustmen. I've seen many dustmen whelps grow within our order, taught them the ways of the faction, kept the faith, preached the tenets of the faction. She frowns. And so on, and so on. No questions, no doubts. This life was merely an antechamber that led to the true death. What happened? Well, a half-month back, I went sick with the fever. She sighs. I thought it was the end. It rattled my cage. How? Her face becomes as stone. There's something about having your faction members circle around your deathbed like a pack of pale-faced ghouls, nodding and agreeing that your suffering and dying is all for the best. Oh, Seer is so fortunate, she shall soon be relieved of the burden of life. Burden of life? That's what it struck me. That there's something... A queer expression comes over her features. Addled. About not appreciating your life. The dustmen keep saying that life is misery and suffering. Is it? That we should be happy to pass on into oblivion. Should we? She shakes her head. Questions, and Precious few answers. It doesn't sound like you believe in Dustman philosophy anymore. I suppose I have got a swarm of doubts all buzzing in my skull. She rubs her temples. Hard to get them all to be quiet sometimes. They need to be fed some answers, and I haven't got them all worked out yet. What will you do? To be square, boy, I don't know. Sarah sighs. That's the problem with doubt. I can't even trust that what I'm feeling is true, or if I'm scared of death only because of my brush with the fever, or even what I should do. Is this a passing thing? I don't know. Okay, let's take a look. This is the choice, clearly. A lot of options here. Basically, you can point out that if she's reacting this strongly, and then maybe she never believed in it. Or you can point out this is a test of faith, which is an entire concept I hate because I'm anti-faith. So whenever someone's like, oh, damn, this thing that should make you question the fucked up ideology you're dealing with, you better resist it. It's a test of your faith. It's like... The closest thing to a black and white situation where a test of faith is justifiable narratively is like a Jedi. And even when you get into Jedi in Star Wars, they're kind of fucked up as an organization when you get to it. It's just that the question of whether or not a Jedi should literally fall to being a Sith is more black and white and than like actual real life implementations of faith, where it's often like almost every faith structure I've really encountered encourages horrible things or is being used to, and so I have never actually encountered situations where faith is justified. Just react to the world in front of you instead of like some vague tenets that were imposed upon you based on invisible forces. If it doesn't reflect the reality, then who cares? It is a weapon that life uses against the soul to keep it anchored to existence. Or you can ruin her entire future. But honestly, it's like she's essentially in a suicide cult. Not necessarily because they don't actually commit suicide, but they're committing to the idea that life is not worth living. And there's this thing where when people try to commit suicide and they survive, there's this massive sense of regret and fear that takes over when you had attempted to do so. And so people are, from what I understand, are relieved to survive because they regret the attempt in the middle. And so, like, this is a bit like that. It's like a brush with death that makes you realize, shit, probably should actually think more about how I value this life, actually. Just on, like, a lesser level of, like, it's just she was raised to believe death equals good. Which, honestly, that's Christianity, and with more steps, or that's with less steps. It's a more direct, almost parody of the idea, but Christianity is supposed to sell you on this idea that death is just good. Like, what comes after is just straight up better. That you'll be in a better place now premise. That life itself is just a test. Actually, this really heavily reflects reality. Somewhat lesser in that, especially in modern life, life's doing pretty good for a lot of people, honestly. So it's more like more like a moral test. Like, God, do you go through life being a good? And then don't worry, if you were good but it didn't work out in life, it'll all pay off in the afterlife, which totally exists. is the idea. Someone's gonna get mad at me, but you know, you came to me as a gay dude. Guess how good Christianity's been to my life. Someone got really mad at me in the Silent Hill playthrough when we got to the church level, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Go away. It's not my problem. This is me. But I think that Christianity especially served a particular purpose for the ruling class in darker times where the average person did not have much as far as amenities and living and quality of life, or even life expectancy, or even like disease-free expectancy. Like there's like a lot of just living a hard, short life that was being controlled by people that did not have to live those kinds of lives, but controlled the world around you, and they would wield religion as a way of dealing with that. So the idea that you can have this like patience of Job situation where your faith and your patience and being good to zero personal benefit to a massive extreme is to be commendable, even if it's basically self-immolation, is a version of this like this idea of like the Dustmen's ideology that life is pain and suffering, and you just have to get through it while following the right rules and be good, and then at the end you get to have, except in this case they don't even promise it, like an afterlife that's good, that is just a beautiful relief from how incredibly bad the world is. But in this version they're spinning the real world to be so cartoonishly bad by comparison that literally ceasing to exist is a beautiful nirvana. So there's a lot of allegories, there's a lot of parallel there between those ideas. Every now and then the background mumbling like distracts me a little bit because it starts to sound just a little bit, just enough like something's being said, and then I fix it on that. I also keep looking at this table and thinking it's a notched knife. Some distinct visuals going on here. Seer, if you had truly believed in the Dustman philosophy, then your brush with the fever would not have left you with such doubts. Hell, forget Silent Hill. This is gonna be like Disco Elysium, where everyone's mad at me all the time. Because it's like, all right, let's actually discuss the philosophy of everything that's being brought up here. And it's gonna bring in all my shit too. Seer stares at you, then nods slowly. Maybe so. Maybe so. She frowns, her face wrinkled up in concentration. I'll have to chew it over some more. You should. It's no small matter. Now, enough of me rattling on about my woes. She stares at your scars. You look like you've shared a few handshakes with death yourself. Hasn't that changed your views somewhat? Doesn't it make you appreciate life a bit more? Well, my condition is unique. I woke up in the mortuary. I think they mistook me for a corpse and were prepared to bury me. The strange thing is, I think I actually had died and got better. Sarah blinks. You're rattling my coffin. I know that I'm pretty sure that my tattoos say don't tell anyone, but here I go. Yeah, I'm just joking. It's true. Strange are the ways of the plains. And I've seen too much to throw any tale out with the wash. She studies your face. If it's true, why does this happen? All I know is I woke up in the mortuary with no memory, and covered with enough wounds to kill me 3 times over. Now don't be saying that too loud. She glances around. Well, most peculiar. Never heard of anything like that. Shame about the memories. Do you have any idea why this happens? Nay, not a one. Never knew anyone who death wouldn't take. Until now. Well, perhaps I could ask you some other questions. Questions, eh? Well, you can ask. Seer looks at you with a steely eye, then smiles. Crypt crawler. I didn't crawl out of any crypt. She frowns, her face wrinkling like crumpled parchment. Right then, what coffin did you crawl out of? She mumbles. One of those shoddy splint coffins at Hamfrey's, most like. Giving corpses splinters, I hear. She sniffs. That boy's not been worth a clipped copper since his father died. Well, the coffin he made me was too drafty, so now I'm looking around for the right place to die. Know of anywhere? She barks a laugh that rattles your ears. Ha! Not here. Unless you want to die of boredom. What's wrong with here? Shh. Someone pinch your sense and your sight, boy? She waves her hand around the bar. Look around. What do your eyes tell you? A bunch of fun-loving dustmen, drinking happily and conversing merrily, celebrating life to its fullest. You've got a clever tongue there, boy. Mayhap your tongue is cleverer than you are. Sarah squints at you, then snorts. That explains the scars. But it doesn't explain why a dustman is standing here ridiculing other dustmen. Care to answer that one? Are you a dustman? Yeah, this is looping back into their conversations. So natural until you've done them before, then you're like, Can you tell me about hammers? Hammers? Hamries? Hamries is a coffin breaker. Pardon, coffin maker in the lower ward. Inherited the shop when his father died. Much to the shame of every corpse needing a coffin, crypt, or tombstone and sigil. What happened to his father? Those ears just for show, boy? He died. She mumbles. His son talked him to death, most likely. That boy's tongue doesn't stop rattling. I'm surprised he doesn't shake his head loose from his shoulders. You two sound like you have a lot in common, then. She narrows her eyes. Do us both a favor and latch that bone box of yours, boy. Don't be drawing comments between me and that yapping well. She didn't like that joke. I'm searching for a man named Farad. Have you seen him? Seer face crumples into a frown. That dog. He's the worst of the collector lot. I heard he had his kip set up somewhere in the Rag Pickers Square, many streets west of the mortuary gate. Dangerous place, though. Some of those collectors aren't patient enough to wait for folks to die, so they can sell them for jink. Collectors? They're vermin that scavenge the bowels of the hive for bodies to sell to the dustmen. Make a living off the dead, a motley breed. Makes you ashamed to share the same city with them. She sighs. Shh. At least they help keep the streets clean. Missing journal. What does it look like? No idea. If you don't know what it looks like, how do you expect me to find it? I'm beginning to wonder that myself. Seems like the dead-end question basically every time. But maybe it's not sometime. I wanted to ask you about some of the dustmen in particular. Can you tell me about awaiting death? Awaiting death? That boy has half the sense of a jackass. He actually wants to die. And him so young, too. I wish death would rattle his cage, teach him a few things. Morte? I thought you were going to ask about a dustman. She spits. There's no dustman There's no dustman who's less a dustman than that jink-smacking, bone-box-rattling lackwit. What do you mean? Morte's so anxious to impress his betters by getting the most dead contracts signed that I wonder if he'll ever be a dustman. I don't understand. He's eager to get contracts signed, boy. He's concerned about his reputation. He's thinking of his career in the Dustmen. That alone says it all. I still don't understand. I do understand. It's because he's passionate, and you can't be that. Which makes it, when you wonder how they get anything done. It's said that passions kill, Seer snorts. Shh, for Dustmen, it's the opposite. Passion keeps you alive. And if you can't strip yourself of passions, whether eagerness, greed, or ambition, then you're doomed to never truly die. Because life will always hold a piece of you. It seems really paradoxical as a concept, but that's not really a surprise. A massive contradiction in a belief system is not a plot hole. That's actually just normal for belief systems. Because how do they get anything done without passion? How do you advance through the ranks of being a dustman if you don't care? How do they have any kind of hierarchy? How do you get anything done? Like, there's so many questions there. Everyone's supposed to be everyone's supposed to not give a fuck collectively, but also this organization has to run somehow. Can you tell me about old Copper Eyes? Don't know much about that one. He's a strange blood. He never moves from that spot, never eats, never drinks, just waits. Makes me uneasy. Actually, I met a scribe named Dahl at the mortuary. Do you know him? Shh, Dahl? He was my instructor in the philosophical arts during my early training at the mortuary, and a crusty old fool to boot. He's ill, so my ears tell me. I bet he'll even bore death with his presence. Is he dying? Shh, sicker than a spotted dog he is. Not much sand left in that hourglass for him. You can be a perfectly healthy spotted dog, ma'am. I met a guide at the mortuary. Soego, do you know him? That boy used to be a regular around here. Don't know what happened to him. Could be he was shaken up after his friend died. Explain. One of his friends was killed in the hive a few weeks ago, torn apart by rats. She shakes her head. Messy business. Has Soego always been a guide to the mortuary? No, only for the past few months. And last I heard, he was just sent off for some missionary duty, but I don't know where. One of the embalmers in the mortuary, Ivine, do you know her? Who? A strange young woman. Poor eyesight, near deaf. Talons for hands? Seer shakes her head. Maybe she's a new initiate. I've never heard of her. She just doesn't work there. I must take my leave. Farewell. Well, she was kind of fun to talk to. Oh, wow, even the barkeeper is just a zombie. Did I talk to Noroksh? You see a spindle-thin dustman in dirty black robes. His stiff black hair springs forth from his skull like a crown of spikes, and his leper-white skin is drawn sharply across his skull. He is frowning into his drink and mumbling to himself. Greetings. The dustman looks up, blinks once, then looks you up and down, studying you. As he studies you, he takes one of his spiked locks and points it at himself with it. Noraksh, initiate. Dustman, guard. I'm here about the posting outside. The dustman looks you up and down. Many troubles have I. Help can you? A mausoleum awakes, the dead walk. And dead disturbed. The dead disturbed. The dustmen disturbed. Find out what disturbs the undead, and copper coins I will pay. Very well. Where is this mausoleum?
Updated my journal.
Norx nods. Mausoleum by Dustman Memorial. Go north and west from Black Monument. Go to Arch. Take a semicircle over your heart. With this finger this make. He wiggles the index finger on his right hand. To the mausoleum you will go. Go you will. I'll look into it then. Farewell. I'm realizing that in some recent playthroughs I had a different approach to doing quests, which is that instead of the way that I think a lot of people play, which is you talk to every single NPC in one go, I would try to talk to one NPC, get one quest, and then be like, okay, let's try to solve that before I find more. But I'm worried about losing my track of where I'm going? I don't know. It's hard to figure out how best to handle this stuff. I'm worried about losing track of all the characters involved here and which one I talk to and so on. Is there so many people around here? I think I might try to talk to everyone here. There's definitely a way of trying to maintain, like, continuity in each individual quest by solving it, by having it get picked, shortening the distance between it getting picked up and solved. Funnily enough, I think I had a somewhat similar approach to Disco Elysium, or tried, but almost every quest in that game is designed to not be solvable for a while. They'll like layer and intermix and stuff. Emmerich. You see a heavyset man with dark skin and grim features. He is dressed in dustman robes and is regarding you with a stony gaze. Greetings. You have the look of one lost. The man's voice is like a stone settling. Did the wind send you? Or are you here with purpose? Who are you? I am Embark, factotum and initiate of the fourth circle. Is this your bar? If you measure ownership in copper, this is not my establishment. If you measure ownership in spirit, it is mine. He pauses, as if trying to emphasize the point. The dustmen here are my students. They are under my protection. Can I ask you some questions? Emmerich waits. Is this your bar? Same line again? Yeah. Can you tell me about the Dustmen faction? Dustmen seek the true death. Some call it oblivion, but that is incorrect. To Dustmen, the true death is freedom from the chains of this false life. False life? This life that many cling to with their emotions is a false existence. As long as one clings to it, they will continually be reborn into it. One must divest themselves from emotion to escape this cycle. I see. Can you tell me about how your faction is organized? Dustmen are organized into 5 circles. The 5th circle is made of the lowest rank of Dustmen, initiates. The 1st circle is comprised of the highest ranking Dustmen, the ruling body of our faction. How does a hierarchy exist in that context? Can you tell me about the dead contracts? Do you wish to sign the dead contract? What is it exactly? In exchange for 50 copper commons, the dead contract gives the Dustmen faction the rights to your corpse after death. Do you wish to sign the death contract? No. Come searching for a journal. These eyes have seen no journal. Perhaps your search will take you elsewhere. Searching for a man named Farod. Have you seen him? I would know why you seek the collector Farod. He stole something from me. Emmerich remains silent. His gaze is unnerving. He doesn't seem to blink. Why do you want to know my business with Farod? The Collector Ferret has brought many corpses to the mortuary of late. One must ask where those bodies are from. Perhaps I could find out where those bodies are from. How would you do such a thing? I would track down Ferret and ask him. If you spoke with the Collector Ferret and returned with his answers, you will have done a great service for the Dustmen. Find where the dead he brings to us are from, and you will be rewarded. Very well. I will find Ferret, speak to him, and find out where those dead bodies he brings you are from. Emmerich nods. Your path is our path. Return here when you have the Collector Ferret's answers. Can you tell me where he is? It is not known to me where the Collector Ferret is. He hides from the eyes of the Dustmen. I would seek other collectors and ask them your questions. Alright. Not exactly helpful, but he's offering a reward. Those just meant to be trash cans? This female corpse is dressed in a heavy burlap shirt, and covered with food and wine stains. Her lips have been stitched closed, and her arms and legs are wrapped in several layers of bandages. The bandages seem to have been soaked in preservatives to keep the corpse fresh. As a result, the corpse's rotting odor has been replaced with an equally repulsive vinegar smell. It's great talking to you. Farewell. As you turn away, you notice Morte staring at you. Eh? Eh? What is it?
You see that way that cadaverous beauty was staring at me?
Morte's teeth chatter as if in anticipation.
She was looking for some lucky cutter to thaw our coffin.
Please, don't start this again. Morte ignores you and becomes thoughtful.
I don't really mind the attention, actually. It's just like I said with that, it's just that I like to be seen as something more than just a skull, you know? I have feelings that go beyond my base animal instincts. I want courtship, not some fortnight fling around the mausoleum.
Keep it up and I'm going to fling you somewhere.
Whoa, Chief.
Morte backs slightly out of arm's reach.
Women, they appreciate lovers, not fighters.
You are perhaps the last person I would ever take romantic advice from.
If you had half the sense you died with, you'd know better.
Morte's voice rises to new heights in smugness.
When it comes to the annals of love, I wrote them all.
Whatever, Morte. Let's go. The gates are made of featureless black metal. There doesn't appear to be any way to open them. Looks pretty featured. There's a texture and everything. So it looks like they might still make... Some of these guys still have unique dialogue despite them all being named the same. Which makes me afraid. I'm like, oh goodness, is every single random person gonna be having dialogue? Nope. This person's the bartender, they don't have unique dialogue. The Hive.
Maybe I can gut a Dusty.
Awoken the Hive. Dustman Monument.
I'm gone.
Hive Thug. The Post. Anna. Ingress.
I've never seen something so ugly. I've not.
You just call me ugly? You have a tail. Hello, are you a tiefling? You see a striking red-haired girl dressed in leather armor. Her right arm is covered with a series of interlocking plates that look as if they were taken from the skin of some creature, and a horned shoulder piece protects her left arm. Oddly enough, she has a tail that is flicking back and forth as you watch.
Pike off.
Greetings. The girl ignores you. I'm looking for someone named Ferret. Do you know where I can find him?
I might. I might say more if you sweeten the question,
She clicks her tongue and rubs two fingers together.
Jink, jink,
Jink, jink?
She means money.
Oh.
Aye.
She glances at Morte, then shrugs. What the skull said? Hard coin. I doubt you have anything I want to hear, but try me. Then I'll decide what it's worth. Bar that. I have nothing more to say to you, Burke. Get.
Well, looks like
What is
that Dusty's lost one of their debtors.
Yep, basically. I can't help but notice that you have a tail. Do I now? The girl looks at her tail. So I do. And here I was thinking that it was the trick of me eye. My, aren't you a sharp cutter? She bares her teeth. Why don't you piss off to whatever hole you crawled out of and leave me be? Me nor me tail is for trade, jig. Alright, I was just
It's just as well neither you nor your tail are for sale. You couldn't squeak out a living with them anyway.
What are you about, you blighter? Say it again. You said that you couldn't make a living selling yourself. Jesus Christ. No. Oh no. You can neutrally reinforce the fact that he said that. Or you can say that you agree, like, and insult her. Or you can say you disagree, which is like saying, don't listen to him. I would totally pay to have sex with you. Which is also not what people usually want to hear. Really, the whole topic being broached is just, cool, we're rating people now, huh? He didn't say anything, but I'm still curious. Why do you have a tail? The girl's eyes narrow to slits. Are you daft? Can it be that you're dumber than stone, or mayhap you're the power of ignorance? Maybe the dabbas brick you over and make you a street. Look.
He's a tiefling, Chief. They got some demon blood in them, and that makes them paranoid and defensive. Nice tail, though. Shame it's plastered on such an ugly body.
Oh. How do I make you stop talking, ever? Whoa, now. You better latch your bone box, you foul-mouthed mimir. You foul-mouthed mimir. It's getting really hard. For I splits it... I can't get through any of these lines. It's such a difference from earlier when everything was natural and easy. Or I splits it from your jaw, Jig.
Why don't you try and split my jaw, chit? All I'm hearing is a lot of chatter from some hive trash. Throw a punch, I dare ya. I'll bite your legs off.
Enough. Aye, that's right. Leash your mimir, tard. Or... Oh. Or I'll bury him with this body, Jig. Mimir? What are you talking about? Aye, Mimir, what, the gulf between your eyes so wide? I mean, where'd that go? Egypt? You still haven't answered my question. What's a Mimir?
Mimir's a talking encyclopedia. That's me, Chief.
Got it. She glances at Morte, then you, then sneers. I guess to know which one of you has the brains, eh? The one that insults you? Yeah, look, I had some other questions. Aye? Now what is it you want? Can you tell me where I am? You're lost, but you're about to find trouble. Make yourself lost somewhere else, bubber. by asking about... Alright, let's see if I can pay for knowledge. Alright, how much? How much is it you know, eh? She studies you, then folds her arms. Come on, I haven't got all day. I haven't. Turn on the charm. What about 10? If your information's good enough, it could be more. Aye, alright then. She pockets the money. It's gone so quickly, I have no idea where it vanished to. Look for him in the alley spineward from the mortuary. That's to the south and west of the mortuary, aye? That's like where we already are. South and west of the mortuary. Thanks. Farewell.
Ugh, I've never seen something so ugly I've not.
Where'd the other person go? There was a named person here just now? They're moving around too. Bane the Sender. That's the person what sends the mail. Oh, edge of the map. It's Dabus. Dabus the Dabus. Ingress, that's who we saw. You see a haggard woman wrapped in rags. Her hair is disheveled and dirty. Her complexion is extremely dark. Burns cover her arms, and her right hand is a fused lump of flesh. It looks melted, like wax exposed to a great heat. Ugh. Greetings.
Updated my journal.
Updated my journal. What is it you want? What is it you want to... Phonetic spelling. Okay. What is it you want of me? The woman's accent is thick, and you're having trouble making out what she is saying. You wanted me to leave? Not leaving this city, so I'm not. I can't. Tried. It's not a city, it's a prison to everywhere. Everywhere? There's worlds, there's... Her eyes gleam madly. Plains! That would be sinking sands, fields thirsty nettles be, sightless worlds where your limbs are given life and hate. What? Cities of dust whose people are dust and whisper ash, and the house without doors, the twilight lands, the singing winds, the singing winds. She starts to sob quietly, but she seems all out of tears. And shadows, the terrible shadows there be. Where are these places? Where's them places? She flings the lump of her right hand in an arc, gesturing at the cityscape. There's all here be. Doors, here to everywhere. Doors? You're not knowing this? She squints at you, and teeth start chattering. Tell you I will. Beware every space you walk through or touch in this thrice-cursed city. Doors, gates, archways, windows, picture frames, the open mouth of a statue, the spaces between shelves. Beware any space bounded on all sides. These are doors to other places. What do you mean? Every door has a key, it does. And with this key, they show their true nature. An arch becomes a portal, a picture frame becomes a portal, a window becomes a portal, all eager to take you someplace else. They steal you away. She raises the lump of her right hand, and sometimes, what's on the other side takes part of you as a tithe. What are these keys? The keys? The keys number as many as the doors of this city. Every door, a key. Every key, a door. Her teeth start chattering again, as if she is cold. And a key is anything. It may be an emotion, an iron nail between your second and third and fifth fingers. A thought 3 times, then thought once, in reverse. Or maybe a glass rose. And these are all keys that open these doors?
Updated my journal.
Yes! Her teeth started chattering, and she clenches her mouth closed and squints her eyes. Yes! Can't leave. Can't leave. How did you get here?
Updated my journal.
She seems to calm slightly, and her eyes take on 1,000 league stare. Came from a place else from here. almost a lifetime ago, hummed a tune by a glade with two dead trees that had fallen together. A brilliant door opened in the space between the crossed trees, showed me the city on the other side. I stepped through, ended here.
Why can't you go back?
Tried! She tries to sob again, but no tears come. Tried! All doors here lead to other places. She shudders and grips her melted right hand. Went through thrice 10 portals. Some a purpose, some a accident. None of them right. Can't find a way back.
There must be a portal that can take you back.
Can't even leave here. This square. And there. The place of death between the gate waits for me. She points at the mortuary behind the gate, then turns back to you, her face desperate. Can't go anywhere in this city.
You can't go anywhere?
What do you mean? Anything could be a portal. Any arch there, any door here could be a portal. Don't know the key. Could get us sent to another horrible place. Her teeth start chattering again. Got to stay away from closed spaces. All could be doors. Could have a key on me. I'd not be knowing it.
You're afraid to go through any door or arch because it might be a portal.
She nods, her teeth chattering.
How long have you been afraid of this?
She squints. Since the last time I walked through, the last portal, the place where my hand... She stops. Since my 10th turning. I'm in my 4th 10th turning now. Her teeth begin chattering again.
30 years? You haven't walked through any door for 30 years.
Her vision seems to clear slightly. She looks up at you, her teeth still chattering.
If you got here, there must be a portal that can take you back. It's only a matter of finding it.
She smiles. Her teeth aren't chattering because she is cold. They are moving around inside her mouth, her gums twisting as the teeth shift about. They rise and recede as you watch, chattering as they rattle against each other.
What?
She hisses at you. Only takes one portal you stepped through accident to drive the fear into you. I went through thrice 10. Lost my hand, burned my flesh, and lost my sense. She looks at her feet. No more. No more.
I'm sorry. If I can find some means to help you, I will. Farewell.
Updated my journal.
Wow, that's horrific. I hate that entire situation. Also, wait, she's been like this since, so didn't she say the last portal made her lose her hand? Achievement unlocked, noble spirit, reach good alignment, any. I've become an alignment. Call of the art, trained to become a mage. What? When did I do that? Her name being Ingress is a bit of a cruel irony. Oh, it's a portal! What could go wrong? This spectral figure materializes from the gloom of the passageway ahead and quickly moves to block your path. It floats before you, its once human features twisted in a mask of rage.
Defilers, leave this place at once.
Greetings.
Leave now!
Its booming voice echoes down the halls.
This place is forbidden to the living. Leave while you still can.
As you wish. Farewell.
I'm gone.
How do I leave? Via this way? Okay. So you just walk back out. Oh, that looks weird. It's kind of random rainbow glitter. It looks like a weird, like, Windows 95 effect or something. Weird. They use what they have available, I guess.
Done.
Didn't she say southwest of the thing? I think they lied when they said where I could find the Ow! 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 Hang on a gosh dang minute. What the fuck happened? I guess there are thugs. Did they just start attacking me? Did I aggro them? Is there a combat log?
Done.
And make it bigger? Journal updated. Okay, so they just started attacking me. Yeah, no, like, I don't think anything happened that would indicate what was happening. I just started getting hit. Skull, come with me.
I'm gone.
Morte! You fool! We have to escape the murder men. They're coming for us. This is also an edge of the map. Okay. Shalandra's Kip. The mausoleum. When they said southwest, did they mean down here? Ragpicker Square, that's where it was, right? Are there 4 areas just called the Hive? Seems like a decently large amount of real estate with that, while each individual map might still be reasonable sized. They're still pursuing me? Stop it! Go away. I don't want to play games with you. Why is every thug after me? Dabus. Angyar's house. Aha, I'm indoors now. You can't get me. Angyar and wife of Angyar. This man looks haunted. His eyes are half lidded as if he has trouble sleeping, and his hair is long and unkempt. His beard is flecked with bits of dead skin and old bits of food. He doesn't seem to notice you as you approach. Greetings, I have broken into your house. There are thugs after me. The man glances up at the sound of your voice, and his slack expression vanishes. It looks like someone has lit 2 fires in his eyes. What be your business barging into my house? His eyes narrow and his teeth clench. Get! Or I'll get you, or I'll send you back to whatever grave you crawled from. Calm yourself. I had some questions. The man's face turns blood red and he begins shouting, Are you daft? With a snarl, he spits at your feet. You filthy, scar-ridden dog. Off with you, or even the powers won't be able to save your hide. Farewell, then. The man throws a parting shot at your back. You'd best never cross me door again, you wretch stinking bastard. Leave without another word. Well, people react reasonably to you breaking into their house, as it turns out. So, fuck me and my joke. How do I get there? Oh, it's not stairs. It's just a weird floor. And the shackles are up in the air. They're not on the ground. I thought they're like in the way. I am being pursued. Open tomb. Thankfully, these guys don't know how to run, so they'll never catch me.
All right.
What's that? End's note and copper comments. Vaxus, if you are reading this, then you have undoubtedly failed in your task and have been forced to use the escape route I arranged. I told you that your little disguise idea was ridiculous. In any case, you'll need to lay low for a while. The Dustmen may be deluded, but they are not fools. They will certainly seek retribution for our intrusion. I've left you some coins. Use them to secure a hiding place in the hive, preferably in Ragpicker's Square. The Dustmen will be unwilling to look for you there. Once you have secured a new hiding place, I have a new mission for you. Find out where Farad is getting those bodies he's delivered to the mortuary. It's apparently causing the Dustmen a great deal of upset, and I wouldn't mind knowing myself. Reports are that the stone-faced Dustman at the Gathering Dust Bar, Initiate Emmerich, I think the fool's name is, has been sending our finders to take and mark Farad's movements. See if you can find out how far along he is, and hinder his efforts until you know more about Farad's activities. I don't want Emmerich finding out something before we do. Pen. A note from someone named Pen. Or character sheet? I thought it was C. Where's my alignment? Number of enemies. Number of kills, 2. Currently afflicted by Throw my things. Oh, alignment. Current alignment. Neutral good. Neutral good characters believe in the balance between law and chaos, but they lean towards performing good actions. I think my favorite characters are chaotic good. Because lawfulness does not equate to morality. The sarcophagus appears to have been here for centuries. There is no lid. The exterior seems to be made from solid stone. People would probably debate me on that because I don't fucking know. All, how do I put it? All alignment stuff is like, just like, or all D&D stuff really. You just play it with like a tiny handful of people in your life for most people. And it's all word of mouth stuff, so like, the thing about D&D is it's always house rules. It's always homebrew on some level because it's not a video game and you only play it with tiny communities of people that don't have massive hive mind worldwide agreement about how a thing is. Nothing gets you yelled at more than streaming. Okay, well, nothing gets you yelled at more than streaming Nintendo video games, especially Zelda. But a close contender is making videos about D&D, and everyone gets really mad about the way you play D&D. And the funny thing about it will often be like no one, you'll be all getting along and having fun as a group, but then outsiders will be arguing about what you're doing wrong. And I'm like, I don't know, man. None of us had an issue. Seems like you're introducing the problem. But there's people will be aghast at how other people play this game as a result. I'm a little curious whether or not I just fucked with my alignment by picking up that or not. I did. Is that stealing by this game's standards? I did help that guy, so I just found the money.
All right.
Okay, I keep thinking that's gonna pause the game. Look at all them harlots. Another. Oh, oops. Ah! Why is everybody on the planet mad at me? Oh. Dark Alley Shiv.
Greetings, stranger. Looks like you're in Dark Alley Shiv territory now. Looks like you've got a purse that could use some lightening. You better pray it's got enough.
How much money did they steal from me? Didn't I have... I think I had 80 before, and then I might have spent like 20 of it down to like 60 maybe, but now I just got 80 and I'm only at 30? They steal like 50 from me at the beginning when the first encounter happened?
Better pray it's got enough.
I already paid this time through. He looks off into the shadows, makes a hand motion and looks back at you.
No, you didn't. You're gonna die.
Run away. Whoop, 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 whoop. They caught me. I lied about having paid money, and they knew I was a liar. I'm a lying boy. It's a pretty good lie though. Wow, everyone on this fucking map is chasing me at the same time. I'm just filling this map in half out of spite. I just insist. I could always be a character.
You never know who you're gonna find.
Wow, they are really persistent. What's in this house? Okay, this person's running away from me, aren't they? Okay, this person has my shit. Or they're running away. You punk ass. Come here. Can I control my characters anymore? Okay. Okay. Select weapon. Get him. Oh, this is the bottom square. Like, why can't I select this guy? He's dead. 5 commons. Okay, I thought he had more. I thought he stole my stuff. That's why I thought he was running. What I was. Bleh. I thought that was why he was running away. I swear I lost money. Maybe I took too long to get it again. Ah! Leave me. Fuck it. You know what? It's morphin' time. Ow! I'm gonna die. How much health does he have? Maybe he was running away because he was low on health. Well, rude. Defending myself probably saves some time, I guess. Alright.